Welcome back to the 2025 SEC Baseball Tournament Game 5 post-game press conference. We're joined by the Tennessee Volunteers, represented by head coach Tony Vitello, along with pitcher A.J. Russell, designated hitter Levi Clark. In a moment, Coach will give an opening statement, and we'll take questions just for A.J. and Levi first, and then we'll let them go. There's microphones that are passing around the room. Please wait till you're acknowledged to ask your question with the microphone. Coach, if you give us an opening statement.
Yeah, as you saw there at the end, I mean, we know Coach Vaughn well for a lot of different reasons. It's a battle every time you play one of his teams. Obviously, this is cutthroat single elimination too, so it's always going to be a challenge to get the final out of the game for either team. But our guys the energy and the vibe was good all day long, even after we made some mistakes. Obviously, we made a bunch. There's a couple that stand out more than others. But if you're watching the game as a coach, or probably as a Vol fan too, you saw a bunch. But the way our guys reacted and handled those mistakes was better than we've done in the past. And I think it was a key to victory, among other things. But, I know the end wasn't what you'd paint if it was a picture or a Picasso. But I'm just telling you, I mean, we get enough criticism, so I'll be criticized for this one too. But I'm telling you, it was better. We got to get Krenzel in that game. We've got a couple other freshmen. Stone Lawless got in there. Didn't necessarily get it done, hit the ball hard. Colby out there on defense, Jay. To be able to get some of those guys in this setting is key, because this is a big deal, as you saw with the fan base and everybody else. So good vibes by our guys. Rambling on, but the one last thing I'll say is unselfishness was a key too. A.J. Russell could have moped. He got arguably their best hitter out in a huge situation. We don't help him out, and he kind of laced up a little bit tighter and got after it. Same thing from Arvidsson. He took the ball and got one of the biggest outs of the game and had no complaint. Well, he wanted to stay out there, but hands the ball off to A.J., and same thing out of everybody else. So,
all right, we'll take questions directed to the players. First, starting the front row on the right.
Ben McKee, 24/7 Sports. A.J., that was the mound that you last pitched on before you had Tommy John, and if I believe correctly, that was kind of the moment you realized that something needed to get fixed. What was it like coming back, pitching on the mound? What was kind of going through your head as you were trotting in from the bullpen?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really good to be out there. I think that's kind of something you think about before the game and all that, but once you get on that mound, it's time to compete, and there's no time to be thinking about stuff like that. And I was happy that I was able to settle in after that kind of first half of the inning and have a good outing after that.
Staying on the right, first row.
AJ, those 1, 2, 3 innings, I think 6th and 7th, how big were those just to kind of swing the game and settle things down? And what went so well for you over the course of the outing?
Yeah, they were massive. We've been talking a lot just with the pitching coaches about every time the offense scores, we need to start putting up some more zeros. And to be able to do that, it felt really good and gave me some more momentum as the game kind of went on, and also gave our team more momentum. So I'm really happy that I was able to do that and execute.
Second row in the middle.
AJ, Matt Talman from World Baseball Network. What's it like to have a guy like Phillips that can eat innings efficiently, and just having a catcher like Peoples, working east to west, north to south, the strike zone? How do you feel like you utilize your breaking pitches more efficiently with your command and your catching core?
Yeah, Marcus is a dog. I mean, I love him, and he's going to go out there and give us everything he's got every time. And I'm more than confident of him to be able to go out there and get the job done. And then with Peebs, it's been really good. Me and him have kind of been working through things, working on the changeup, working on the slider, kind of how to set up or where my focal point or where I'm looking at. Just kind of little cues to kind of help me. So, I mean, Peebs knows the game more than just about anybody here, and maybe besides the coaches, but it's great to have him back there, and it's really fun to throw to him.
All right next to him in the middle.
Ryan Shumper, Rocky Top Insider. AJ, Coach Vaughn said was really complimentary your changeup against right-handed batters. How much did you throw that kind of in comparison to what you usually have this year, and how important was that to your success?
Yeah, I threw that way more than I normally do. I used to never throw it, and it's kind of something that's new. And gaining more confidence the more I get out there and the more I throw it. And it was really a big deal to my success today. So.
Yeah, during that rehab, man.
Yeah.
Threw a ton.
On the left side of the room, third row.
Tristan Thornhill, 90.3 Rock. Levi, it was your first taste of SEC, tournament play. What did you feel, and how do you think about your performance today?
Walking up, you think about it, but once you get in the box, it kind of goes quiet. You don't really have time to think about it, and just got to think about your task.
Next question for the players. Front row on the right.
Levi, what was the offensive approach coming in today? A season high 20 hits. What do you think was working so well for the offense as a whole today?
I don't know. I think for the most part it was just getting the job done early, and I feel like we had a lot of big at-bats, like one by Reese Chapman, where he just grinded the pitcher down and helped the guys behind him get to him early in the count.
And last one for the players on the right.
Yeah, Levi, how would you say the team responded after giving up the 5 spot in the 5th?
I mean, the motto lately is kind of just like been move on to the next. So when that happened, no one was really worried. We were ready for whatever.
All right, AJ, Levi, congratulations on the win. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
For your time.
Thank you.
I'll tell you later.
All right, questions for Coach, if you please raise your hand. Let the door close. All right, starting on the right side, first row.
Ben McKee, 24/7 Sports. Tony, just what do you think about your team's response to after the 5th inning and Dean's error to not allow things to continue to spiral and kind of instead put the foot on the pedal even more?
I thought it was incredible. That's that's not good. It's a punch in the gut. It was a little bit of a miscue, but even the older guys, they're still young, other than Hunter Ensley. So, again, you're going to make mistakes, but I think the way we've handled mistakes, there's been some overreaction from a variety of sources. And over the course of the season, especially in this league, there's so many ups and downs. So that's the one thing this league will prepare you for, why the league has done so well once the NCAA postseason starts. Here, we're kind of all still beating up on each other, is you better learn to take a punch. And I think this team has slowly gotten better as the season's gone on. We do have some older pieces. It's a little top-heavy if you're going by age, but Marcus Phillips is kind of parallel to how this team is. There's been progress in a bunch of different areas. And it is late in the year, and there is still more to make progress. But for now, we're the group we are. It's a fun group to hang around. They seem to all have each other's back, and they're crazy if they don't enjoy this environment here. It's pretty special.
All right, on the left side, third row.
Coach Shari talked about the 20 hits. I think 16 of them were singles, though, and it felt like a majority of those were just straight back up the middle. From the dugout, what did you see from your perspective that allowed that kind of success on offense?
Yeah, I mean, the park will play big on you here sometimes. I know the wind was going to right field, and Lavalette doesn't count. He can hit into outer space at any park. But, that might be kind of what you got to do here. And we don't bunt that often, but we really executed. Manny did a great job with the bunt. It ended up helping us a bunch. Some were just 2-strike, getting balls by guys. But to me, it all started at the beginning of the day. You could sense it a little bit. And I'll be honest, we've had days like that where if you mic'd up our coach's locker room, it's like, man, don't say it too loud, but this is a good deal. And it hasn't always worked out on the scoreboard. Again, it's the SEC. So all we can ask is our guys approach pregame wherever we go, Hoover High School, and then you got to hang out in the locker room and wait till the game's over. That game could have ended real early. It went long. That approach needs to be repeated. And then you just go out and have fun and you play. And again, if you make a mistake, you just get back after it, and we'll see what the stat sheet or scoreboard says after the game.
Front row on the right.
Yeah, Tony, end of the 5th there with 2 outs. Levi and Cannon had back-to-back singles to tie the game. How big were those hits? And then also Dalton's at bat the inning after with that 2-strike hit the opposite way.
Yeah, Dalton was just a little overeager to do things and, really literally just played pepper. That was one of those I was referring to with 2 strikes, just got it by a guy. But for Peoples to tie the game, I mean, he had as good a view as anybody. Looks like we're out of the inning. Marcus was absolutely cruising. I mean, he led us into battle like no other and did it on short rest after we kind of moved some things around. So for Peoples to get that knock in that situation might have been one of the biggest blows of the day, in our favor. So all in all, team effort. Levi did a really good job. He's talking about an at-bat where Reese didn't even get on base. I think he ended up striking out, but wore down that pitcher a little bit, and we ended up scoring after that. So teamwork.
In the center of the room in blue.
Tony, you touched on it a little bit, but with Dean's error, just kind of where are you from a confidence standpoint with him defensively, and how do you kind of handle some of the issues he's had at this point in the year?
I'm plenty good with it. Ride or die for anything, on or off the field with that guy. And obviously I owe a lot. I owe a lot. So you can talk about wallet, you can talk about whatever, you can talk about all kinds of other stuff. So he's done a really good job for us adjusting at second, like Fisher has done. Like, hey, just tell me where to play and I'll do it. Gavin has been similar as well. I think where he's really shown well there is range side to side. That was a play that was kind of a tricky one as far as the hop you get, And I think because of the way he fielded it, he thought he needed to get rid of it right away, and we had fish deep. So it was an odd play. Should it happen? No. But again, these dudes will make mistakes, and if I'm not mistaken, to use that word too much, he had a pretty big knock for us later in the game too. So when you do mess up, whether it's him or anybody else, you can't pout, you can't wear it on your sleeve. If anything, you relax and just play, or maybe it adds to the determination you got. So I'm looking at these names on here, and Stone could have ended the game. I'm good with that guy till kingdom come. So same with the rest of these names that are on this list. I was happy Marcus got to take the ball for us today too.
In the back right.
Harrison Fan, SEC Unfiltered. Coach, how symbolic was just today's game and kind of the style in which it was, with the giving up the big inning and then coming back and responding so quickly in that, and then kind of pounding it on, keeping your foot on, the gas and everything, of what the postseason means to be kind of a fresh season, a fresh start, and especially right after kind of some more struggles late in the season than how the beginning of the season went. Yeah, opening day is so great. I mean, Game 7 of the World Series in MLB baseball is probably better, but everyone loves opening day about this game so much, and part of it is that clean slate, that fresh start. I talked about painting the picture earlier. You can kind of paint that blank canvas however you want, but it's not going to be real pretty, especially in playoff time. So I think it's important for our guys to have a little confidence boost and a feel good after this, but it's also important that they kind of learn the lesson that you just move on and you keep playing ball, because I'm not reading it, and you guys are, especially our local guys, have worked their butt off, but I'm sure at some point I've been asked, shot yourself in the foot, or you made a mistake, or I got news for you. It's college baseball. Anyone who loses probably shot themselves in the foot at some point. Maybe they walked the guy or whatever, unless you got one of the best games or an ESPN Classic. So, again, whenever it happens, you need to get closer together as a team, and you just got to play ball.
Second row on the left.
Lauren McGill, ESPN Gainesville. Coach, after an offensive explosion like this game, what's the message to this team for the quick turnaround to face an opponent like Texas?
We pointed out, we didn't even talk about tomorrow's game too much. We kind of talked more about managing the schedule here. The city does an incredible job, so there's a lot of free time, there's a lot going on, and then there's a lot of sitting. Part of the postseason, it could be NCAA or this, it's just kind of managing your circumstances, whether it's hanging out with family or making sure you got tickets all in order. So we just kind of talked more about some of the unselfish things that went on today and applauded those guys, and then really just talked about having your affairs in order so that you're ready to rock and roll whenever you play. Because here, whether it's lightning or extra innings or rain, you really don't know when you're going to play. And I've been a part of teams where you play at 1, 2:30 in the morning.
On the right side, last one.
Towards the end of the regular season, you mentioned relying on guys like Hunter Ensley, especially when it comes to the plate presence. But how much has a guy like Andrew Fisher been a calming presence for this team, or just been a really good teammate for the rest of the guys on the team?
He's always got something to say. He's from Jersey. And it's funny, sometimes it might be overkill or might not even be the right time. But it's not going to be because he doesn't want the team to win and he's not trying to be a good leader. And more times than not, it is just that. He's a good leader. And it's interesting because he's got, I think he kind of has glared, at a time or two, maybe glared in the other dugout or kind of looks like he's, overly intense. But he's just a good vibe guy. He's always having fun playing the game. He believes in himself. He's so comfortable in his own skin. Sometimes it can make you kind of check yourself or be a little uncomfortable. So each guy leads in their own way. Hunter does it his way. I think Andrew keeps the guys loose, keeps them very competitive. He's always communicating. And again, he's comfortable in his own skin, which is the way you got to play this game, because we talked. 1 minute you might get embarrassed or it may not go well, and then there's going to be another pitch in the game. So you better be comfortable in your own skin that this is the guy. I'm here, I'm present, this is who I am in this particular moment.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time today. See you again tomorrow.
Thank you all.